What's up, everyone? So by now, most of us should have had a chance to beat the incredible story epilogue in the Shadow of Doom DLC. If you haven't, this video will spoil that ending, so make sure to come back after beating the epilogue story. For everyone else, I'm sure you were as excited and intrigued as I was at the ending of the DLC. To summarize, Reed states that he saw data on Doom's terminals that indicated something very powerful and beyond measure was on its way to attack Earth, in which Doom agreed. The big question is, what could this threat be, and what does this mean for the future of the franchise, and does this mean Ultimate Alliance 4 or a Season Pass 2? To quickly address that question, there are no clear-cut answers, but I think it definitely means we are getting an Ultimate Alliance 4. The tease of an immense cosmic power coming to attack Earth after the events of this game sounds like something worthy of a full-length sequel, so I would wager that the wheels are already in motion for an Ultimate Alliance 4. In fact, we know it sold well because it placed on Nintendo Switch's million sellers list, as you can see here. So does this mean we won't be getting a Season Pass 2? Well, that's still unclear to me. I think the epilogue ending is more in reference to a sequel, but it's possible another Season Pass could show up. For now, I wouldn't get your hopes up too high, but I'm personally going to be on the lookout around June or July for some sort of announcement if there is one. Each DLC has released 3 months apart, so June or July could possibly be a good announcement window, especially if the developers had initially planned an announcement at E3 before it got cancelled. But yeah, I'll be checking out any June or July Nintendo Directs with my fingers crossed. But anyway, assuming an Ultimate Alliance 4 is on its way in the near future, what does this epilogue tease mean? Well, I'll be honest, it's really vague and mysterious and doesn't give us a lot to go on, but I do have some theories. The first one is probably the most popular and common theory, and that is we might get Galactus. I can't decide if this theory is the one that makes the most sense, or if it's just the one I want the most, but there are some clues within the epilogue that could give some validation to it. The first is that Reed and Doom seem to think this threat is aiming for Earth in particular. A lot of cosmic beings deal with the universe at large, and not necessarily individual planets, except for Galactus, whose sole motivating factor is to survive through draining a planet's life force, and Galactus has been gunning for Earth for a while. However, Doom seems convinced that the events with Thanos and the Infinity Stones are what triggered the mystery cosmic being to head towards Earth, so I'm not sure if the Infinity Stones would motivate Galactus to approach Earth more than he already is. I also think that whoever this cosmic being is, they are more powerful than a Celestial, since we faced a Celestial in the game, and presumably Doom was able to harness the data of that Celestial, something his instruments can't handle for this other being. So I could still see Galactus being the case for this. He's comprised of pure power cosmic, and my understanding is that Galactus is stronger than a Celestial. And I would hope so because we took them down with rockets, but I believe Galactus has taken down Celestials in the comics too. The only thing that makes me reconsider Galactus, though, is that Reed actually brings up the Power Cosmic during gameplay, which means they must have come across the Power Cosmic at some point before.
They may not be driven by the Power Cosmic, but I assure you, these Doombots are as deadly as ever.
Maybe the Fantastic Four have interacted with the Silver Surfer at some point and understand the Power Cosmic. Or maybe there's a more general explanation. I'm sure Reed is just referencing the Power Cosmic in relation to the Celestial here, but in the comics, Reed theorizes that Celestials are made up of hyperspace, the source of all energy in the Marvel Universe. But for the purposes of the game, I guess it's safe to assume Reed is confident the Celestial is made up of Power Cosmic, which leads me to believe Reed and Doom can measure and record data from the Power Cosmic, but surely Galactus' levels of Power Cosmic are still off the charts. Also, there is evidence that the Fantastic Four have had a run-in with Galactus before, and that is through the Human Torch's voice lines. He has one stating that he helped take down Galactus.
Please, I helped take down Galactus?
My understanding before Ultimate Alliance 3 came out was that it was a soft reboot and not beholden to the prior game's story. So it's unclear if this is a nod to the first game, suggesting it's still canon, or if this is just referencing the comics and the Ultimate Nullifier story, or if it was a totally separate encounter. This could also explain why Reed seems to know what is going on when he first sees the data.
These readings don't make any sense. Unless... There's no time to waste. We need to find Doom and put an end to this. The fate of the universe itself may depend upon it.
He quickly jumps to the conclusion that the universe is in danger, indicating that he has some sort of idea of what's to come. Although I think he and Doom would have mentioned Galactus in the end cutscene if they assumed it was him again. But it's interesting to think how the future games could handle Galactus if he's not a new threat. If the sequel presumably takes place after the first interaction with Silver Surfer and Galactus from the comics, Maybe the Silver Surfer can aid us against Galactus in the next game, and maybe we'll have to take on one of his new heralds. But there are still some other things that make me think it's not Galactus that's being hinted at, like the eyes/portals at the end of the main game. They awaken after the events at the Heart of Infinity, like what Dr. Doom mentions, and I think they symbolize eyes or someone watching us. Other members of the community think they are just portals or symbolic of other universes. Regardless, I have trouble seeing this as Galactus unless they are hinting at his eyes at the end of the first game. Either way, I'm pretty confident we will see Galactus in the next game, even if he isn't the lead big bad. He's also the one I want to see most in a sequel. But I have a couple other theories too. This next one actually comes from viewer Owain Dark, who commented on my previous Ending Explained video theorizing that the main game's ending could be hinting at Nemesis. The story of Nemesis is that there is an extra Infinity Stone with no powers, and that it could possibly be part of the Heart of Infinity. When Thane brought all 6 to the Heart of Infinity, it's possible this reunited all the stones and awakened Nemesis, which seems consistent with the awakening of the eyes/portals, and Doom specifically stating an ancient cosmic being awakened by the stones. I like this idea because it ties into the stones well, but I'm also hesitant to state it as the most likely. Doom mentions that the cosmic beings are looking to restore cosmic balance by wiping out Earth, which I don't think fully ties into Nemesis. My next theory is based mostly on the idea of the cosmic balance Doom mentions. While I was researching for this video, I came across Lord Chaos and Master Order, who are 2 cosmic beings that create a separate being named the In-Betweener to maintain balance amongst the cosmos. The In-Betweener has gone up against characters such as Adam Warlock, Doctor Strange, and Galactus himself, so I think he could fit nicely here. The portal eyes could also be in reference to the duality of Lord Chaos and Master Order. Lord Chaos and Master Order are around the same power level as Galactus, so it also makes sense that Doom's tech couldn't handle their data readings. This may not be the most exciting theory on the list, but I think it fits with a lot of the hints in the game so far, and could be a good basis for the rest of the game to build off of. I also want to quickly address some other cosmic entities I considered, which were the Living Tribunal, Eternity, and Infinity. Eternity and Infinity were my favorites for what the main game was hinting at, but after the epilogue, I'm not as sure anymore. I don't really see the reason they would want to act against Earth now. In the comics, these entities acted together in order to stop Thanos, which we already handled for them, so they are a little late to the party. Although we still don't know what happened to Thanos and Thane, so we could see them make a return, and Thanos could end up with the stones again, although I think a lot of us are kind of burnt out on that storyline at this point. But my point is, these cosmic beings are usually concerned with more universal issues, and if they didn't act when Thanos and Thane had the gauntlet, I don't think they need to act now when the stones are being held in safekeeping by our heroes. Which brings me to my last theory, and that is the Beyonder. This again isn't really a theory I hold in high regard, but it's possible nonetheless, and could lead to an interesting 4th game. The Beyonder is a powerful ancient being that becomes fascinated with Earth and its inhabitants. The Beyonder theorized that the inhabitants of Earth were driven by desire, a desire to feel complete. So he created a new planet called Battleworld, and transported various heroes and villains there to fight. The Beyonder stated that the winner would have whatever they desire in life fulfilled by him. Ultimately, Doom stole his power, Beyonder then stole it back, and sent everyone home. But in the game, the events of the Infinity Stones could have grabbed the Beyonder's attention, so it's possible the Earth is in his sights now. The portal eyes at the end of the game also looked kinda similar to his look in this comic cover, although not identical. In fact, a side note, these portals look very similar to white holes to me, the opposite of black holes. I'm not sure what this means yet, but I thought it was worth mentioning. But back to the Beyonder. The Beyonder in the game would mean we would get a Secret Wars story arc in the game where various Marvel characters are forced to fight each other, which could be a pretty cool premise for the game. Is this likely? I can't say it totally adds up to what we've been given so far, but it's a possibility. But those are all of my main theories. Before I end off, I just want to show some close-ups of the monitors in Doom's lab. I tried to look at these for any possible clues or Easter eggs to what Doom has found, but I can't see anything groundbreaking, but I thought I would show you just in case you spot something I didn't. I know it's tough to make out from these images, this was the closest I could get. I think the image of a person is just referring to the Celestial we fight in the game too. The others look like they have words on them, but I can't quite make them out. But yeah, if you have any other theories on what we might expect for a sequel or season pass, I'd love to hear it in the comments. I'm personally hoping for the Galactus Theory to come true, even if he's just one cosmic threat we have to deal with amongst others. But there isn't one theory in particular that I'm entirely sold on yet. so I'm sure this will be a topic we will revisit in the coming years until the next game comes out. I'm also interested to know how you feel about the DLC overall and if you liked it. Speaking of which, if you're playing the game and looking for others to play with, you can join us on Discord. The link is in the description below. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.